Aren't you happy to be in America? I mean, seriously, can we just have a moment? We're still here. Last time I checked, Obama's copy of the Constitution was a little dusty and he hadn't read it in a while, but it's still there, all right? It's still extant. It's still the law of the land for now, all right? That's not a guarantee, all right? There is zero guarantee of that, and inroads are being made against that every day. And that's why we got to pay attention. That's why we have to speak up. I am a second generation American. I come from Sweden. My grandmother came over on a boat, legally. And my family joined America, bought into the American dream, worked hard, assimilated, and now I could not be happier and could not fathom the idea of being anything less than an absolutely patriotic and happy American. I am apparently of a generation where in school we were still taught that America was the great melting pot. You came from where you were because there was a chance at a better life here. But the game was you had to become an American. You had to buy into the concept that life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness and the freedoms that the Declaration of Independence and Constitution say so clearly and shout to the rest of the world were how you were going to live. And if you did that, you became an American. There was no hyphenation. There was none of that. I'm not a Swedish American, okay? I'm not even anything of the sort. I am an American. And if that's what you want, come. That's not really the case that much anymore. It's happened. Political correctness has gone berserk. You are now supposed to identify with whatever victim group you've been assigned to. You know, you are supposed to grievance monger and get your share of the attention of the government and have the government make sure that no one ever gives you offense, that nothing can ever offend you, and that you live in a bubble. You know, I don't think that's going to work out too well. The reality is unfortunately going to bite them. And I think the problem that these two gentlemen have identified is, number one, you can't afford to have people come and not contribute. Okay? If you want to come to a country and simply freeload, you are not a productive member of society. I wish that more people who want to emigrate were willing to do that. And if they were, they would be welcomed with open arms if they would accept the local culture, if they would become part of it. The problem is we're dealing with a large cohort who do not and who will not. And instead of feeling bad about that, instead of saying somehow they should identify more closely with the cultures they're coming to visit and in some cases overwhelm, they're proudly saying we will not. We will not only not assimilate, but we are going to, in some ways, take over your culture. And that's not sustainable. You know, the demographics are scary. The submission of free Western society, is there anything better? No offense, we stole it from you guys. You know, we populated it with Northern Europeans early, and then every other group that came helped build an America that is the shining city on the hill, that is still the exceptional nation. And we've done it better than it's ever been done because we've got a First Amendment. I can't be arrested for quoting Churchill. I can be called an Islamophobe. I can be called a hater. I can have the SPLC call our organization. And they wrote a great article talking about this panel called These Two Gentlemen Racists. I didn't hear a racist word out of their mouths. I heard them talking about facts, undeniable facts. That's not racism. Okay? That's having your eyes open. Well, what happened to Europe does not have to happen here, should not happen here. We can stand up and say we won't stand for it. And at this point, we formed the Counterjihad to enable Americans, every flavor of American that there is. And we love the flavor, okay? We love the flavor, but you have to be an American and accept that. We want to give you guys the ammunition and the facts about what is happening and enable you then to raise your voice and to stand against the people who call us haters and say it's not hate. It's loving freedom. Frank coined that phrase when we were talking about the counter-jihad, and we were talking about how to describe and how to push back against the people who call us haters. It's not hate to love freedom. It's not hate to believe that women should not be subjugated. It's love of freedom. It's not hate to think that homosexuals shouldn't be thrown off roofs. It's love of freedom. That's something we should be able to stand up proudly and say, that's American. Okay? The people who are trying to stop that are the political left, the politically correct police, and the Islamist groups, the Muslim Brotherhood, the other front groups, CARE, any of these people who are actually pushing an agenda that is not religion. They're doing it under the guise of religious freedom. All right? Islam is accepted as a religion in the United States. The problem is the subset of Muslims who believe Sharia is the way Islam is practiced, and that includes the people who run Islam. There is a significant number, and they believe that their totalitarian ideology, which is a better description of Sharia, is mandatory. You can either submit or you can be conquered. And the bottom line is, America's not about to submit. So the counter-jihad is for you. The counter-jihad is to give you this information, to tell you what's happening, and to empower you to act, to empower you to speak out. Because you can call me names. Do I really care? Is that going to break my heart, Ace? I'm fine. You know, people have called me much worse names than that. And it's not true. That's what really hurts. The bottom line is, when I was in Army Special Forces, one of the main missions we have is humanitarian assistance. I have built schools, dug wells, immunized hundreds of Muslim kids. And yet I'm anti-Muslim? No. You can say the words, but they have no meaning. I do not accept that, and neither should you.